Okay, so this is the first screen that you see when you open Bitwig. You have your transport bar here on the top, then you have your inspector panel on the left, the device panel is on the bottom, and the browser is on the right side. In the middle you have like the split view. The left side is the scene mode and the right side is the arrangement view. So the arrangement view I can switch off for now by clicking this little icon here. So before we start, we want to make sure that our sample folder on our Mac or PC is also visible in Bitwig. So we click the settings icon here on the top, go to the locations, and then here under sound content locations we can add our sample folder here. Okay, so once that's done, we can see that here are 2 tracks already by default. The top track is an instrument track, which is basically for MIDI, and the second track is our audio track. Let's start with adding a device for our instrument track. So I select the track and I can see on the inspector panel here on the left side this little plus icon, or I also can use this little plus icon on the device panel. This will give me this pop-up window, which is basically another version of the browser that we also have here on the right side. For now, I want to add a polysynth, so what I only need to do is I can just search for it here on the top search bar. And then on the right side we can select it. And here you can see we have our polysynth on our device panel. So as a next step, we want to see which options we have with devices in general in Bitwig. So on the left side, these are our core functions. On the top, we can switch the device on and off. Then we can see this folder icon that gives us all these presets for this specific instrument. Then we see this little icon that gives us an expanded view of the device itself. Then we have something for our remote controls. And then the most fun section is this little modular section here on the bottom. Basically, with the modulators, we can modulate any knob what we see here on the device. If we want to add some effects to this track, we can add this little plus icon next to the device. For example, an EQ. So I just type in EQ and select the EQ plus. And also if I hit my keyboard now, I can hear the sound. You have to make sure that your track is armed, so this icon has to be enabled, otherwise it won't play anything. So let's add our first clip. We just have to double click here into the free field. And now if I double click on the clip, I could draw the notes in by double clicking, or I can also play them with my keyboard. So if I hit play, you can see nothing happens. So what I have to do is I need to enable overdub. You have this little play menu here. If you open this, you can see there's 2 types of overdub. One is for the arranger and one is the clip launcher. Because we're in the clip launcher now, of course I have to enable the overdub from the clip launcher section. And I can also click this little pin icon here and then it appears on the top. The overdub for the arranger I can disable for now. So let's try this. It's enabled, so if I hit any note. Okay, that sounds not right. Okay, so you can see it's disabled now again, so nothing happens. So I'm gonna hit the metronome. And then I can enable overdub. Then I select my notes, right click, and then I quantize them so they are snapping to the grid. What we can do now is we can add some loop, for example, to our audio track. So all I have to do is I select my audio track and then I can hover over this little plus icon here and I get my browser again. And now let's search for some percussion loop. Let's go with this. Okay, so I want to switch off the metronome now, and I also want to change the speed. So I'm double clicking here on the top, and then I type in 120 BPM. Okay, so let's add a kick drum. We can right click here and then add instrument track. And now we look for the drum machine. So here's our drum device. We have the same icons here on the left as in the other device before, as you can see. What's now really helpful as well for the device in general, if you click F1, or you can also right click and click Show Item Help, it will give you this interactive menu where you can see a description of every parameter, and basically you can also change the parameters in real time, which is quite a nice feature. So it's basically like an interactive user guide. Okay, so let's add some kick drum. We can click the plus here on the C1. Then we switch to our samples tab here on the top. And now I search for a kick. Okay, this should be good. You can see that the sampler has been added here. This is another device, and the sample has been loaded automatically into the sampler device. This is what you see on the pad C1. If I click on this, it closes and opens. So if we double click here again to create another clip, and then we can draw in our kick pattern. It's very silent, so I want to make it a bit louder. Maybe I need to also lower the volume for the other tracks. So I can do this here. But you could also do it by selecting a track and then go to the inspector panel here on the left and adjust the volume here. A third option would be to go to the mix view. You can see here on the bottom, this will give you the mix view, which looks a bit similar to the Ableton session view. Okay, so now we have our little idea and we want to switch to the arrangement window now. So I enable this again by clicking this icon. And now I select all my tracks, all my clips, and then I just drag them. You can see they are grayed out now. So what I have to do is I also have to click this icon here. So now that means they are playing from the arrangement window. What I can do now is I can add some automation. So for example, on the polysynth, I can click this little icon here with the 3 lines. This gives us this new window for the automation lines. And here I can select the parameter which I want to automate. So let's say we want to automate the filter frequency. And then you have like your tools here. You can see pointer tool, etc. The number, if I click number 3 on my keyboard, it gives me the pen tool. This is the one I want. And now I can just draw some random lines here. So let's just listen to this. Okay, it would be good if we loop our section as well. So I select my clip and then I can just activate this little loop icon here on the top. If we want to add another automation for another parameter, we can just hit this little plus icon, select the parameter, for example the resonance, and then we can just draw again. Let's add something else. Maybe noise. Okay, so now we want to add another melody, maybe on top of the polysynth, which we already have. So I enable the scene mode again, because I just like the workflow there. And I click our clip here. And now you can see that the polysynth is playing from the scene mode, and the other two tracks are playing from the arrangement window. I wanna make it a little bit bigger, so I click it. I can adjust the length here on the inspector panel. Let's find another chord which maybe fits well. So I like this, so I enable overdub. So I can now go to my arrangement view, delete the track, and now I can just drag this idea here. And you can see all our automation is gone. So if I undo this, and I deselect this little icon, you can see now the automation is still there. This is basically automation follows when clips are moved. If this is not enabled, the automation will stay no matter what you're doing with the clip, even if you delete it. Okay guys, that's it for today. I hope this was helpful. We will cover a lot more in the future, more in depth. But for now, enjoy Bitwig, and if you have any questions in the comments, don't hesitate. Have a good evening. Bye bye.